Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Next item, please.
Invocation.
Commissioner Monique Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today we have with us our Wayne County Commission Youth Council Chaplain, Francisco Hernandez. He is Commissioner Vargas' appointee to the commission. He's a football and basketball varsity star. He's president of the National Honor Society, and he is a part of DECA, and he loves poetry, and he's just an overall great guy. So go right ahead. Thank you.
Turn this microphone on, someone, please. Okay, there you go.
Is it good? All right. Good morning. As Ms. Monique Baker McCormick said, my name is Francisco Hernandez, and I'm the chaplain of the Wayne County Commission Youth Council. And naturally, I've been asked to write and say the invocation for today's presentation. And I ask at this time for those willing to please bow our heads. And for anyone who doesn't wish to participate, I ask that you take a moment of silence to prepare for today's presentation. Lord Father God, today we ask for your patience, grace, and knowledge as we go throughout our day. We ask that you place your hands upon our young and our experienced minds alike to reach a common ground and understanding in order to make a change that we all wish to see. We also ask that you place your guiding hands upon our community. Let us not only speak about the changes that we wish to see in our environment, but be those very changes. We thank you for every day that you have given us, and more importantly, the opportunity to be here in moments like these. Moments where you have taken what we learn and truly apply them to the world around us. We thank you for bringing the youth of Wayne County together and giving them the opportunity to take time and focus on the issues that we wish to correct in our communities. We thank you for giving a connection between generations, a connection made through the desire and the need to be the cornerstones of our communities. We ask that as we go about our lives, our work, and ultimately back to our families, that we share what we learn and that we take the lessons of each day into tomorrow. We know and trust that with faith and perseverance together, hope will prevail. Lastly, Father God, we ask that you continue to guide us as you do every day through our words, thoughts, and actions. Through your glorious name, we ask all of this. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that awesome prayer. Next item on the agenda.
Reading, correcting, and approval of the journal.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun.
Move for approval.
Their support. It's been moved and supported to accept the journal as presented. Please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Report from the chair.
Thank you so much. This is our equalization meeting today. That is why it is on Tuesday. Of course, we normally meet on Thursday, but state law requires us to meet on today, Tuesday. Because of that, we will recess at the end of this meeting to account for the equalization report. Unfortunately, because of the size of Wayne County, it is unreasonable, unfortunately, to have our equalization report due by the time of this state mandated meeting date. Therefore, Ways and Means will meet on next week, and at our next full board meeting, we will have the equalization report. So again, that is why we are meeting on Tuesday as opposed to our normal scheduled day of Thursday. That's all that I have. Next item, please.
We're on page 2 of the agenda, unfinished business. There is none listed. We are moving to offering of all petitions, ordinances, resolutions, and presentations. There are 6 items listed. Item number 1 is a presentation by the Wayne County Commission Youth Council on its resolution requesting Michigan school officials and school boards to provide a school day dedicated to educate students and faculty on gun violence prevention and tools to recognize behaviors that could lead to gun violence, to implement safe boxes that facilitate anonymous reporting, and to provide at least one mental health professional in every school to expand access to mental health resources and support.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Before I turn it over to Commissioner Baker McCormick, I just want to say what a dynamic group of young people that we have for our youth council. They are all very bright. They're very interested in politics. They're interested in their community. And we couldn't have asked for a better group of young people. And I am so happy that they were able to come today to see what a board meeting looks like, to participate and to meet their commissioner, probably for the first time in many occasions, that appointed them to this board. So I am just over the moon excited about how dynamic they are and how dynamic they're going to be for our community going forward. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Baker McCormick for a special presentation by our Youth Council. Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning. Create opportunity, realize success is the Wayne County Commission's Youth Council motto. And I am so profoundly proud of the work and commitment of this diverse, dynamic, and intelligent group of 10th, 11th, and 12th grade members of the Wayne County Commission Youth Council, of their work, and also for the commissioners that appointed them. We want our youth members to know that your voice matters as citizens of Wayne County. And we congratulate also those of you that are seniors, the class of 2022. We also want to thank the parents that are joining us this morning. We welcome you. You get to see the great work that your young men and women are doing. Job well done, parents. Can you please stand, parents? Thank you. And we want our members to know that they can be, do, and have anything. If they put their mind to it, they can do it. And to ensure that we provide them with the tools and resources needed to accomplish their dream. Whether it be the next commissioner or governor, doctor, lawyer, bricklayer, or business owners, we have to be willing to share our knowledge and be ready to move out the way when the time comes for the next generation of leaders. We must invest and empower them now because they are our future. When I introduced the resolution for the Wayne County Commission Youth Council in 2019, I believed then and I believe now that we must do better at reaching back and empowering them. And so that has been one of my goals as I work with the Youth Council. Without the support of the commissioners, though, this would have not been possible. So I want to you students to give your commissioners that appointed you a hand clap, because without them. And of course, to our Chair Bell, who has been supportive the whole way through. She even came and chose a book, Who Moved the Cheese, and had a whole book session reading with the Youth Council. So we really appreciate all that you do in supporting them. I want to also thank the staff, the commission staff, Pam, Felicia, Jim, and the whole team. Most of the time, the Youth Council meets after hours. So they go over and beyond to help and provide whatever resources they need to make sure that the Youth Council is successful. So I want to thank you for that. And of course, I can't leave out my dynamic team, especially Nairobia Mitchell. Can you stand, Nairobia? Now, Nairobia just graduated from Michigan State, so she's a fresh new leader herself, and she's just, you know, she dove in and she's just doing an awesome job. So thank you so much, Nairobia. And then, of course, Gloria, who's my wonderful assistant in the office. And then my new team member, Michael Van Tool. Thank you all for your support. So now we will hear a full report of the year's activities from our president of the Wayne County Commission Youth Council, Karthana Danasakaran, who will provide a full, like I said, a full report of all of the activities. And she will bring up with her executive team. So come on up, guys. Just the executive team right now. You can go up to.
Yeah, come up here.
Yeah. Karthana, you go. Yeah. And then the other youth members, you can come around this speaker here, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kirthana Danasakaran, and I'm a senior at Northville High School. I'm from District 9, and my commissioner is Commissioner Terry Marecki. I'd like to start off by thanking the Wayne County Commission for allowing us, the Wayne County Commission Youth Council, to present our resolution detailing our efforts to address the issue of gun violence to everyone, and for providing us with this opportunity to participate in the Wayne County Commission Youth Council. And I'd also like to thank Commissioner Baker McCormick for leading the council throughout this year and advising our program. And I'm going to provide a brief report of the program activities we completed this year. But before I do so, I also want to introduce the rest of the executive team, starting off with our vice president.
Hello, my name is De'Ara Searles. I go to Cass Tech. I'm in District 2, and my commissioner is Jonathan Kinlock. Our motto is create opportunities, realize success. We took an oath this year, and it's important because we promise to be kind to people and treat people right. And that's important for us to accomplish our goals and uplifting our youth community. And I would like to introduce our secretary, Kavya.
Morning, my name is Kavya, and I'm the secretary for the Wayne County Commission Youth Council. I go to Plymouth High School, and I represent Commissioner Dobbs, District 10. Now I'd like to introduce our chaplain.
Hello, my name is Francisco. I'm a senior at Lincoln Park High School. My commissioner is Ilona Varga. And like she said, I'm the chaplain. I'd like to introduce our social media manager, McKenna.
Good morning. You'll have to excuse me, I lost my voice. My name is McKenna Taranjo. I'm a junior at Huron High School, and I am in District 11 representing Al Haydes.
And the rest of your youth council is right over there. And so you've met all of our executive teams, so our youth council members can go ahead and introduce themselves as well.
Oh, maybe it's not.
Good morning. I'm Hannah McNichol. I go to Melvindale High School, but I live in Lincoln Park. And my commissioner is Miss Ilona Varga. Thank you.
My name is Jaden Walton. I attend Renaissance High School, and my commissioner is Jonathan Kinlock, District 2.
Hello, my name is Madison McDonnell. I go to Annapolis High School, and my commissioner is David Kniezek.
My name is Ariana Dorich. I attend Detroit Edison Public School Academy. I live in District 3, representing Martha G. Scott.
Good morning. My name is Shakari Fleming Brown. I go to the school in Marion Grove. I'm from District 6, and I'm representing Monique Baker McCormick.
Good morning. My name is Zion McCann. I go to Cass Technical High School. I live in District 8, and I'm also representing David Kniezek.
Good morning. My name is Munib Mahmood. I attend Canton High School, and my representative is Melissa Dog from District 10.
Yeah, so that's all of our Wayne County Commission Youth Council, and I'd like to thank everyone for all of their hard work and dedication to the council throughout this year. We definitely could not have completed our gun violence resolution without your ideas. Yeah, and you can now be seated. So now I'd like to provide a brief report of the program activities we've completed this year. So due to the pandemic, most of our meetings this year have been held virtually on Zoom, but we were lucky enough to have a few in-person meetings like the December holiday luncheon at the DIA, where we had the privilege of meeting and conversing with Representative Rashida Tlaib. And the Wayne County Commission Youth Council was also able to take a tour of the DIA, where we learned about the influence of cars on Detroit's history. And following this, we were able to elect our new executive board for the 2021 to 22 year, who you just met. And we also created vision boards to display our future career prospects during January's meeting. And at the January meeting, the Youth Council was able to engage in a discussion of Spencer Johnson's enlightening book, Who Moved My Cheese, led by Commissioner Bell. And we also received a very informative presentation with the MSU Extension Program about effective time management strategies to minimize stressors in our daily lives. And in the following meeting at the Detroit Historical Museum, the Wayne County Commission Youth Council learned more about the rich history of Detroit. And we also had the honor to meet with Assistant Prosecutor Amanda Nee McCrae to learn about youth restorative justice. And we began to brainstorm ideas for our gun violence resolution at this meeting. And in our March meeting, the Youth Council had the pleasure of listening to a lecture from Nia Mathis of Verizon, who discussed how students who are wishing to succeed need to surround themselves with people that are going to support them. And she also urged members to stay curious and to keep learning. And this was also the meeting where we submitted our final draft of the gun violence prevention resolution that we'd been working on throughout the entirety of March. And following this presentation, we do have a couple of more events left, including a community cleanup in our efforts to support the war on trash, which we basically believe is just the idea that areas with more trash are going to be heavier in terms of crime. So by cleaning up, we're minimizing crime. And we also have a possible partnership with Junior Achievement. And the Wayne County Commission Youth Council would like to extend our gratitude to Wayne County for inviting us to the suites for our Tigers game night, and the Detroit Wayne County Port Authority for hosting our completion ceremony on June 5th. And it's been a full and exciting year, and the Wayne County Commission Youth Council members and I have had the opportunity to experience greatness and meet incredible people. And now, with the help of our secretary, Kavya Keshvamurthy, I'd like to present our 2022 resolution regarding the prevention of gun violence in schools. So whereas gun violence is a violent act committed with the use of firearms, for example, pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, and machine guns, and whereas guns are the leading cause of death among American children and teens, whereas the United States, there have been 1,316 school shootings since 1970, and these numbers are gradually increasing. And whereas more than 292,000 students have experienced gun violence at school since the Columbine High School shooting in 1999. And whereas gun violence can disrupt the functioning of schools and make students' journeys to and from school dangerous. And whereas the lack of state resources for gun violence prevention and mental health treatment, along with the difficulty of recruiting and retaining teaching staff in neighborhoods wrecked by gun violence, have a negative impact on the educational experiences of students, which could undermine the right to education in these communities. And whereas perpetrators of gun violence and school shootings often suffer from some form of mental illness, and whereas in 4 out of 5 shootings, at least one other person had knowledge of the attacker's plan but failed to report it. And whereas in almost every documented case of active shooters, warning signs were shown. And whereas the United States Department of Homeland Security research shows that if people know the signs of gun violence, they can take steps to prevent it and reverse the trend. And whereas some schools have initiated the use of safe boxes or anonymous forms for students to openly report concerns or simply express grievances that can minimize or prevent incidences of school-related gun violence. And whereas the guns used in about 68% of gun-related incidents at schools were taken from a home, a friend, or a relative, and whereas 39% of parents wrongly believe children don't know where a gun is stored, and whereas an estimated 4.6 million American children live in a home where at least one gun is kept locked, loaded, and unlocked, and whereas gun violence is a problem that's beginning to increasingly impact the youth of Wayne County with the onset of the Oxford High School shooting, and now therefore be it.
Resolved that the Wayne County Commission Youth Council on this 24th day of March 2022 recognizes that students, parents, and faculty within educational communities are not receiving sufficient education, resources, and support from schools for gun violence prevention and its intersectionality with mental health issues. And be it further resolved that the Wayne County Commission Youth Council requests that gun safety education be provided in schools through a day devoted exclusively to raising awareness among students and faculty about the risks and regulations associated with guns, recognizing and reporting signs of concerning behavior, and other related topics using seminars, videos, and interactive discussions. And be it further resolved that the Wayne County Commission Youth Council requests that schools send information about gun safety and secure storage, as well as mental health resources, to parents and families in order to educate them about the dangers associating with guns and children and how to potentially prevent these dangers from occurring. And be it further resolved that the Wayne County Commission Youth Council recognizes that gun violence committed by children is usually the result of the child having access to a gun owned by a parent or relative. Therefore, the Youth Council strongly urges the Michigan Legislature to enact legislation to ensure the safety of children and to reduce opportunities for access to guns by 1, requiring the proper storage of guns, 2, mandating the purchase of a gun lock when a gun is purchased, and 3, establishing penalties for the improper storage of a gun that would allow charges to be filed against a parent. And be it further resolved that the Wayne County Commission Youth Council requests that schools establish an online anonymous safe box for students to report any information or concerns that they may have through a non-confrontational medium. And be it further resolved that the Wayne County Commission Youth Council recognizes that mental illness is often an underlying trigger behind gun violence and requests that there is at least one mental health professional available in every school for students to approach as a trusted adult, as well as an advisory period built into the school schedule as time for students to seek mental health resources, connect with their peers and teachers, or simply relax. And be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be forwarded to the Wayne County Commission, all members of the Wayne County delegation in the Michigan Legislature, the director of the Michigan State Board of Education, and every school board within Wayne County. Thank you.
Thank you for everyone for your time and for listening to our presentation. And thank you to the commissioners for believing in us and investing in us throughout this process.
Didn't they do a wonderful job, everyone? Wasn't that fantastic? I think there's a Bible verse that says, raise up your children in the ways that you would like them, and they will do better and be better. And I think the young people that are on our Wayne County Youth Council are certainly doing a great work, and we are raising them to be the civic-minded, professional young people that we want them to be. So thank you all. You all were awesome. I'm so glad you came today. And I will tell you, I whispered over to Felicia and I said, did you write the resolution? Because a lot of times, you know, our council does our resolutions for us. And she said, no, they wrote that themselves. That was their work. So we are just so proud that they are doing great things. And that is an awesome topic because it's so relevant to our times today. Last year, as you recall, mental health was the topic that they went about a resolution for. And I think as we've seen in recent months, gun violence is such a relevant topic. I'm so glad that you are taking a stand on that very important issue. So I want to give them another round of applause for just being here and doing such a wonderful, wonderful work. Thank you. Thank you so much. Commissioner Baker McCormick, I'll turn it back over for you for closing remarks.
I think you said it, they're just dynamic and they did it themselves. I really can't take much credit. I'm just so proud of all of you. You're awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you. So if you could, Commissioner Baker McCormick, make a motion to receive and file item number 1.
So moved.
It moved in support to receive and file item number 1, and that is the presentation and their resolution. Then we'll go to our resolution for a vote, but this is to receive and file item number 1. Please vote. Oh, 1 second. Ready? All right, please vote. Thank you so much. And I will call on Commissioner Baker McCormick for item number 2. Madam Clerk, please read, and then I'll call on Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Resolution 2022-001 that advocates for gun violence prevention, gun safety education, and the implementation of mental health resources in schools in Wayne County.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move support of the resolution that was so completely explained and as the youth said, the gun violence issue is very near and dear to their heart. And so I hope that we will support them. There's a stipulation that we have a gun safety day in school, which I think is so important, not only for the students, but also for the parents, in addition to the mental health resources provided in the school. And of course, gun locks. It seems so simple, but for some reason, parents and owners of guns don't use them. And if there was a law that stipulated that once you purchase a weapon that you have also to, have to also purchase a gun lock, then that would help to keep our young people safe. So I think it's really simple and self-explanatory, and I hope you all will support it.
It's been moved and supported. Everyone, please vote when the clerk is ready for us. Okay, please vote.
Motion carries.
Is it okay to have co-sponsors for the resolution?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Let us know when it's appropriate to vote for co-sponsors for the resolution.
Board is now open for co-sponsors. Co-sponsors duly noted.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Commissioner, again, for your dedication to the Youth Council. And again, thank the parents and the youth who came out with us today. Thank you so very much. Hopefully you stay around for the balance of the meeting, if you'd like. Next item, please, Madam Clerk.
We are moving to item number 3, a resolution by Commissioners Baker McCormick and Varga saluting and encouraging residents to celebrate the thousands of therapy animals and their handlers for the joy and companionship they provide to needy individuals in our communities and across the United States, and recognizing April 30th, 2022 as National Therapy Animal Day.
Commissioner Baker McCormick or Commissioner Varga?
You want to talk to? Okay.
It's been moved by Commissioner Vargas, supported by Commissioner Baker McCormick. Any discussion on the resolution? Any discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
So much. Next item, please.
We're on item number 4, a resolution by Commissioner Bell recognizing the importance of National County Government Month and the activities and programs put forth to reaffirm its commitment to providing a premier living experience for residents in all 43 municipalities.
As stated, this April is County Awareness Month. There's so many people. I'm sure we always get asked, what do counties do? And of course, we have a long list of items that we read off of what counties do. But just as a quick thumbnail, I'll put infrastructure. We help health of our communities. We help with the unfortunate need to jail our residents who do bad things in our communities, the courts in our communities. We do so much of the hands-on work in our communities throughout the country. So counties are so very important to our residents. It is the most important hands-on piece of local government that our country has. So please recognize April as County Awareness Month. When you go to your community groups, when you go speak at schools, there's a tool on NACO that helps young people understand what counties do. It's called iCivics, and you can pull that up online. And it's a wonderful tool to help if you go to Career Day for our K-5 population. So we know what we do, and we know how important county government is. We just have to continue to let the public know that their roads, their air quality, so much more that we do, our technology, the infrastructure that we're responsible for on a daily basis. So with that, I move approval of this resolution.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, and we'll take 5 and 6 together, but go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Item number 5 is a resolution by Commissioners Baidoon and Haddis honoring Wayne County's Muslim residents during the holy month of Ramadan and commending them for their faith.
Yes.
Item number 6 is a resolution by Commissioners Baidoon and Haddis recognizing the decades of contributions from the Arab American community in Wayne County, the state of Michigan, and the United States, and proclaiming April 2022 as Arab American Heritage Month and acknowledging its efforts that make Wayne County vibrant and diverse.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baidoon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since Arab Americans began immigrating to our great country in the late 1800s, they have been making valuable contributions to our healthcare, education, law, business, and many other fields that make our country vibrant. Wayne County is home to the largest concentration of Arab Americans throughout our nation, and during this time of when hate and bigotry is so easily spewed, it is important to take time this month to recognize the accomplishments and contributions by Arab Americans in the United States. This year, many Arab American Muslims throughout Wayne County and across the country are also celebrating the month of Ramadan. This month, during the month of Ramadan, Muslims recognize this month as the time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the verses of the Holy Quran. This holy month, Muslims, is a time of reflection, worship, prayer, fasting, and from dawn until dusk and spiritual renewal. Now more than ever, it is important to recognize that Islam stands for peace, justice, family, and community, and acknowledge that our Muslim brothers and sisters are critical parts of the diverse fabric that make up the Wayne County multicultural community. For many like myself, who happen to be an Arab American and a Muslim, our culture and religion teaches us strong family values, vibrant work ethic, dedication in education, and diversity in faith. And we are taught to use these values to strengthen our democracy and join all Americans in their desire to produce a peaceful and diverse society. I would like to ask all of my colleagues to please join me in supporting these two separate resolutions, and I will make a motion, Madam Chair, for items 5 and 6.
Been moved and supported. Discussion, Commissioner Basham.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair. My name is Basham. It's English, but a lot of my Arabic friends going back to when I first hired into Forge think I am Arabic. I'm not, but those friends of mine have even taught me to speak a little bit of the language. And I absolutely agree with everything that Commissioner Baydoun just said, including I just got a haircut at the same place he got his cut in Dearborn. So the thing of it is, I would like to be a co-sponsor of the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any further discussion on the resolutions 5 and 6? Okay, we'll take them together. Please vote.
Motion carries.
Okay, and we'll open up the board for item number 6. Item number 6. Okay, please vote. Board is still open for co-sponsor. If you'd like to co-sponsor item number 6.
Carries for the vote on item number 6.
Thank you so much. Going on to the committee reports. Our first committee report. No, for 6. We open the board for item number 6 for April as Arab American Month. For co-sponsors. Okay.
We are moving to page 3, reports from committees. Report A from the Committee on Economic Development. There are 3 items listed on pages 3 and 4 of the agenda.
Thank you. Commissioner Anderson, as Vice Chair of Economic Development, could you do that report, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. The Committee on Economic Development met on a number of items, 4 items, or 3 items, I'm sorry. And I'd like to move the report.
Is the items 1, 2, and 3 for economic development have been moved, supported by Commissioner Baydoun. Discussion on the report. Commissioner Colleen.
Madam Chair, on item number 1 there, these home dollars are just so important around the county. And we did get the report appended to our agenda today, but I would like to ask that we get just a brief description how we arrive at this list and what the goals are in allocating the dollars this way.
Mr. Carroll, let's come into the microphone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Terry Carroll, Director of Community Development. Basically, we had to go through a prescribed deliberation with contacting over 70 community organizations that we also appended to the report. And we took the comments from the few that did reply and put those into the categories then that are fundable. So that's how you wound up with those 3 categories.
Are you good, Commissioner Colleen? Or you have another question?
Yeah, and what's the goal here, Mr. Carroll?
The goal is to implement $10.2 million worth of home ARPA money in the these funds differ from the regular ARPA money in that these are highly regulated and they come through HUD. And so what we're doing is, and we don't have all of the organizations worked out yet in terms of who will actually do the implementation, but there's going to be services and construction, both that come out of this money.
This aimed at, what's the designation, low to moderate
Yes,
income?
yes, oh yes. It still retains those kinds of provisions from the home program.
Thank you. And Madam Chair, since we just did a resolution on County Awareness Week, I think it's important, that's why I asked him up here, that so much of the community really decides what categories and where we spend, and you reach out all across the county, much like for our roads, right? And people are not that aware of the federal aid committee, that it's not me and my colleagues that decide what roads get done. It's all the people around Wayne County and all the different communities that have input into that. And this is a similar situation here. So I know it's a lot of work, but thank you for getting this to us, Mr. Carroll.
Certainly welcome.
Thank you. Any additional questions for Mr. Carroll while he's here on item number 1? Okay, thank you, Mr. Carroll. Any questions on the balance of the economic development report? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Carries.
Thank you very much. Next item, please.
Report B from the Committee on Ways and Means. There are 19 items listed on pages 4 through 7 of the agenda.
Commissioner Varga.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of the entire report, which is items 1 through 19.
Been moved and supported. Any discussion on the items?
I would like to just let members know that there's a lot of revenue coming from state for the Third Circuit Court, and it has to deal with the juveniles with 17 of age.
Speak in the microphone, please, Commissioner.
Thank you. There's many of the issues on the agenda deals with the age between 17 and 18-year-olds within Third Circuit Court. It serves to recognize the revenue that the state of Michigan has sent us, because the age limit has been changed from 17 to 18 for alleged offenses. So we had received quite a bit of money from the state of Michigan for those, their state grants. I just wanted to acknowledge that we had received.
It's the Raise the Age Fund. Okay. Any additional discussion on the report, Commissioner?
I'm good if everybody else is good, but I'll be able to answer any questions that anybody else might have.
Questions on the report? Hearing none, please vote.
Carries.
Thank you. Next item, please.
We're moving to report C from the Committee on Health and Human Services. There are 2 items listed on pages 8 and 9 of the agenda.
Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move items number 1 and 2.
There's support?
Support.
Moved and supported. Discussion, Commissioner Anderson?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to mention that this might be a good opportunity to mention that all these issues have gone through, the agenda items have gone through committee and thoroughly vetted there. And because of our guests that are here today, it might help them understand why things are transpiring the way they are. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. What he said. No. And normally I do that, but we're still, these committee reports were still under the recommendation phase. Therefore, we should be thoroughly vetting them today. And then next time I will make that comment. So if there are any questions, we will take them on every report, please, as we have the last few meetings. Any questions on, thank you, Commissioner Colleen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On item 2 of the report, the SEMHA,
Yes.
I raised the question in committee whether this was bargaining unit work or not. And there was a discussion about that, and it kind of came down to, well, it's something about COVID, and they had to add something to the job description. And I wasn't so sure that this was not bargaining unit work, that we're not going outside to hire. And I expressed at the committee, with assurances from administration that no, it was not. And I said, well, I might get a phone call after this meeting telling me, yes, it is. And then we all got a couple of days later, an email from the GAA, the Government Administrators Association, where they laid out that it was their opinion that this was bargaining unit work and should be in-house. And I had asked at the committee for a kind of a fiscal analysis of the cost of keeping them in-house versus somehow and whatnot. We got a response, but it wasn't exactly that. So I'm very uncertain about this item number 2. And so I'm gonna vote yes on number 1, but today I'm gonna vote no on number 2. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone here from the administration to address item number 2? Name and title for the record, please, and then if you could discuss what this contract does.
Do you mind if I take this gum out of my mouth? Should have been prepared. I'm Baker, Chief Operating Officer with the Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services. And I can answer the question.
My question is, and his concern was, does this take, if this contractual, is this taking work from our civil employees? If you could just kind of explain what this contract does and why it is in place.
Okay, so we have a 5-year contract with the Southeastern Michigan Health Association, SEMHA. And this is basically, as the question was asked during our committee meeting, this is to the amendment that was presented. This was our second amendment this year, presenting to the HHS committee. And the term of the amendment, October, this work, let me take a step back. This work is for the Department of Public Health and clinical service, as well as juvenile and youth services, to continue our COVID response work, COVID immunizations, contact tracing, and other services that we provide as it relates to COVID in the jail, as well as our federally qualified health care services. So when we do our assessment as far as whether this funding is to go to SEMHA, through that process, is whether it's seasonal, short-term, and basically we are adding an increase of $12,257,121 to an existing contract. The original contract was $37,559,147 million. And this 12 million increased it to 49,800,016,268. All of the funding that's been added here is for a 1-year grant period. So it ends this fiscal year. And so that's part of our qualitative assessment as to whether we need to deploy this funding fairly quickly. And 80% of the funding in this amendment is for COVID response post-surge. So the grant is ending, these grants are ending this fiscal year in September. So that is a key assessment that we make in order to be able to get these funding out so that we can carry out the operations around COVID response. And that's what I shared with Commissioner Killeen in a letter. We also sent you the list of all of the positions that were that were part of this grant. And so I'll answer any other questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Kinlock. I'm sorry, before you go, Commissioner Kinlock, Commissioner Killeen still has the floor. Commissioner Killeen.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I'll just say this. We were all contacted by the GAA afterwards, and they were expressing surprise, and they felt like their bargaining unit was getting stepped over. GAA was not included in any discussions prior to this, right? Like this might be your bargaining unit. I just think people need to sit down and talk and clarify some of these issues. But people haven't talked to each other. The GAA is of the opinion that this invades a little bit on their bargaining unit. And these are important issues. If people are county employees, they're putting into the retirement system, which helps the county with our annual required contribution over there. So I just think people need to sit down, talk, clarify, because it's not clear to me at this point. I'm hearing, yes, it is, and I'm hearing, no, it's not. And those parties haven't talked to each other. So I am going to vote no today, but I think in matters like this, there needs to be discussion ahead of time and not have it all emerge after a vote is taken in committee. It's a little late at that point. So I'm just encouraging people to get together. And so if there's something the GAA is not understanding, maybe they need help. And if there's something administration's not understanding, maybe they need help. So that's all I'm encouraging, that we have conversation and clarify these issues ahead of time. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Kinlock.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make a point that I absolutely support the intent of collective bargaining agreements. And when there's some ambiguity or any questions, I absolutely believe that there should be a conversation had with those unions to try to clarify it before it comes to us and inserting us into this this concern. I understand that it is associated with COVID relief and our response to it. My question is, how many positions are we attributing to this? I know you sent the response to Commissioner Killeen, but how many positions are we specifically talking about in total?
It's approximately 60 positions out of our approximate 160 positions. So majority of our positions at the health department is civil service. And a lot of the positions that we are including are not filled yet either. So, we're trying to attract, staff to be able to carry out this work. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. Primarily our leadership is all civil service, and these are short-term contractual positions that end at the end of this fiscal year.
Since you were contacted by Commissioner Killeen, I'm not sure if the union had actually contacted you all. Have you had conversations with the union as it relates to your response in regards to the questions that were raised at the committee?
So our meeting with the union, and I would also lean on, Andy brought him up here. So we talked about, well, we're having a challenge filling positions. So that was that was our major conversation, civil service as well as contractual. So we talked about what strategies we need to do to fill those empty positions. So Dr. Sheff was part of the meeting, and I can also, and I wasn't in attendance to that specific meeting that just happened this week. However, that was really the larger discussion is how do we bring talent? How do we fill these positions in an expeditious way across civil service as well as contractual? So a lot of these positions are open, so that's a universal issue we're having.
Correct. Thank you.
And before you go, Commissioner Marecki, then I'll turn it over to you, just sir. Go ahead,
Thank
Commissioner
you.
Marecki.
And that's what I got out of the Health and Human Services meeting. We're short of staff in almost every department in this whole county. And to think that we can do all this internal if we don't even have the staff, that's why we're doing this. So that was my impression at the committee meeting. So thank you.
Sir.
Morning, Joe Martinico, Director of Labor Relations. I just wanted to address the fact that we have, in fact, met with the Government Administrators Association and have had discussions with them regarding this matter. The discussions primarily addressed the recruiting for permanent positions at the county and the difficulty the county's had in recruiting positions in public health. But we have reached an agreement with GAA on which the commission approved several months ago, raising salaries for nursing employees of the county. And even with that agreement, we still continue to have some difficulty with regard to recruitment. It's a national shortage of nurses. The fact that this particular service is short-term and doesn't lend itself necessarily to hiring permanent employees. The discussion around with the union involved an explanation of that. So I just wanted to keep you informed that we have in fact met with the union with regard to this subject.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Varga.
Thank you. My question is, did you meet with the unions prior to issuing the contracts for the contractual people, so they were aware that this was coming? It's only a matter of communication to tell somebody that, hey, I know that we don't have enough union employees and we must go out for contracts. So it's a matter of information, communication, and it would, if the answer was no, it would have probably resolved a lot of issues.
Try to keep in touch with the unions and keep them advised of when the county is taking this. I know that I had personally had conversations with the director of the Government Administrators Association. We try to keep each other informed.
Prior to.
This particular contract has been in place.
That's all I ask. Thank you.
Commissioner Dobb.
Thank you, Madam Chair. How are the rates of pay for these contractual employees as compared to union Wayne County employees? And are any benefits offered to the contractual employees?
So the rates of pay depends on the role, the position. So the question that Tim Johnson did ask us, how many were over $15 per hour, and they're all. SIMHA offers full staffing, so they offer benefits through their staffing process, their administrative process. However, just working with SIMHA for many years in public health, over 20 years, it's very difficult to get a pay increase because we have fixed grants and there's variable. So there's pros and cons of being a SIMHA employee, whereas you may come in and do something and turn around fairly quickly, but that stability is not there. Whereas with civil service, we have a step system of promotion and all of that. So the qualitative piece is how long is the grant for? Do we have to turn it around? is a seasonal, is a variable, so that we are intentional about not displacing our civil service employee and be able to respond to operation and emergency fairly quickly.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion on this item? Okay, and just to recap, this is an amendment to an existing 5-year contract. The existing contract expires in 2025. This amendment is to help with execution of COVID-related activities. These are grant money to execute these activities. That makes up for the amendment that we have here before us today. And that amendment and the funds must be spent by what date? The $12 million?
By the end of this fiscal year.
So the monies have to be spent by September 30th.
September 30th.
To provide these COVID services. So that's before us today in number 2 as a little recap so everybody understands where we are. All right, any other discussion? Those were the 2 items of Health and Human Services. Seeing no other discussion, please vote.
Yes,
Madam Chair.
but still a no on 2.
Hold on one second. Did you note Commissioner Colleen, Madam Clerk? Okay, Commissioner, can I like to hear your voice?
The same yes on item 1, no on 2.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Basham. Okay. The clerk, did you note?
Motion carries, and I have Commissioners Anderson, Kinlock, and Colleen as a no on item number 2.
And Basham.
And Basham.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item, please.
We're moving to report D from the Committee on Audit. There are 3 items listed.
Commissioner Basham?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I have 2 items to receive and file. And this hurts me to say this, but I have 1 item to be approved, which is a retroactive item, but it has been explained thoroughly. And as frustrating as it is for me, I have to support a retroactive item. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Madam Chair, I'll move those items at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there support? Okay, Commissioner Clark Coleman supports. Receive and file 1 and 2 and approve retroactively item number 3. Discussion, please. Commissioner Basham? All right, any discussion on the items? Hearing no discussion, please vote.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you so much. Next item, please.
Here on report E from the Committee on Public Services, there are 16 items listed on pages 9 through 14 of the agenda.
Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move to receive and file item 1 and to approve items 2 through 16 with a slight revision on the resolution on number 16. And the maker of the motion for number 3 would be Commissioner Kniezek, and the maker of the motion on number 12, Commissioner Anderson.
It's been moved. Is there support? Moved and supported. Okay, Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And since we are still on the recommendation phase to the full board, I'd like to briefly go through the items. Number 1, the receive and file is for the road crew reports for February. Number 2 is a 3-year sole source contract for Kerr Pump and Supply. These are for our pump stations. We had a lengthy discussion on our pump stations and got an update on what's going on with those. Again, Wayne County is in charge of 40 pump stations, and we contract with MDOT for 100 pump stations, and we also oversee the 14 at the Airport Authority. Number 3 is a engineering contract with Anderson and Eckstein and Westrick. And this is this is to engineer Beach Daily from Warren Road to Joy Road in Dearborn Heights. This is Act 51 monies. Number 4 is with the Schultz equipment for various snow plowed blades and shoes. There's three contractors with this. This is one of the contractors that we approved. The number 5 is Alfred Benish. It's engineering services for Jefferson Avenue Bridge over the Huron River. This was for no change in dollar amount. Number 6 is construction contract with Cornapple for the replacement of the Jefferson Bridge over the Huron River in Brownstown. Number 7 is Ajax Paving. This is to increase curb ramp openings and other pay items for additional funding. This contract was. Number 8, Majeski and Masters. This is to modify scope of services for the swing bridge portion of the Groseal Bridge. Number 9 is for Sumter Township. It's an extension for the park millage to put wheelchair swings in their park. Number 10 is Wade Trim. This is for engineering services for Merriman Road over the Tarabusi Drain in Livonia. Number 11 is an MDOT update. This is to update the Appendix G for the contract for the state trunk line maintenance. This was just an error on our part. This is just to correct an error for a formula that the state needed. Number 12 is an MDOT project for road improvements along Wayne Road from Cherry Hill to Ford Road in Westland. Number 13 is an MDOT project, Farmington Road, from Farmington Road, Orange Lawn to Plymouth. Number 14 is WCI Contractors. This is a My Deal contract to remove and replace shingle roofs at the Inkster Valley Golf Course and Cart Barn and Pro Shop. Number 15 is a contract with Oneida Golf Services. This was retroactive for a couple reasons, but they are going to be operating the Inkster Valley Golf Course. And we had an explanation from that from our Parks Director. Number 16 is a resolution that you've been given in front of you. And if you could indulge me, I'd like to make a couple paragraphs of comments before, so you know what's going on with this. Early in March, the communities in all of the counties associated with the Great Lakes Water Authority were sent a letter letting them know that water and some sewer rates were increasing on July 1st. The letter also informed the communities that portion of the rate increases that had been billed over the past several years were going toward a $52 million debt that the city of Highland Park has supposedly owed with the Great Lakes Water Authority. After some investigation by the Conference of Western Wayne, they were able to actually get the documents showing what each community has been paying towards this debt over the years. Commissioner Palomero and I decided to do this resolution and bring it forth for a discussion at the COPS meeting of March 29th. I believe I notified all of you of this meeting. At the COPS meeting, we had the City of Highland Park there and the Conference of Western Wayne Executive Director. An invitation was extended to the Great Lakes Water Authority, but they were unable to attend. They have shared with us some information since that time, though. But before I continue, I'd like to stress, and I believe I'm speaking for Commissioner Palomero and the COPS committee, this resolution is not against the City of Highland Park in any way. I called Commissioner Scott when we started looking into bringing this forward to assure her of this. The dispute between Highland Park and the Great Lakes Water Authority is complicated. It goes back many years and is still in litigation. It doesn't matter what's going on between the two of them. This is about all of our communities paying for water and sewer that we have not used. It's about the legal question of how the GLWA could spread this debt to communities who didn't agree to pay for it. It's about moving forward, stopping the bleed to consumers, getting the state possibly involved, and what we may be able to do as a commission if we want to do this so this never happens again to the people we represent. The Conference of Western Wayne and other conferences have put forth resolutions asking the state to enter into this dispute since the state was instrumental in the fact that Highland Park was hooked up to the GLWA system years ago. The CWW resolution is asking the state to make communities whole for the $52 million of debt they have paid in the past and to make sure this never happens again. Several of the cities and townships in our county and other counties have now decided they are not going to pay this debt anymore and are putting the debt payments into escrow until legal and monetary relief is determined. The resolution put forth today by myself and Commissioner Palomera, and it is passed out of the committee 7-0, asks that all the parties are involved in this are heard at the county level, that the state possibly gets involved with monetary relief, but more important, that we as a county commission, if we decide we want to, can reevaluate the articles of incorporation that were set up with GLWA and the county back in 2014. There may be changes we can make to these articles if we wish to assure that our communities are protected from having this ever happen to them again. Before you, for your consideration, is a revised resolution from our COPS meeting that adds the state of Michigan as a possible player to bring a conclusion to this situation. Commissioner Palomera will continue to be listed as a co-author on this resolution. And if this passes, I would be more than happy to open this up to co-sponsors. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Marecki. Your report has been moved and supported. Any discussion on any of the items? Commissioner Anderson.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to ask the chair of the committee. I had talked to her about number 12, but I also wanted to ask 14 and 15 are in my district too.
Sure.
So I'd like
So
to
12,
be the
14, and
sponsor
15.
of
Yep.
those. And I totally support the resolution. So.
Thank you. Commissioner Basham.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I have several. Item number 2, is that a OEM parts? Because I'm okay with sole source if it's OEM, but to just pick somebody, then all the flags start popping up with me on sole source. That's number 2. My question is, are they OEMs?
You know what? They are the only ones that supply these parts to our pumps.
So they're OEM. Thank you. And then if I may, Madam Chair, number 6, can I be the maker of number 6 being is in my district?
Yep.
And lastly, Madam Chair, I know that I've been here going on 12 years this year. There's been discussion about selling a golf course. Are we ever going to look at selling that golf course, or we don't make any money? It's negative liability. Why should the county be in the golf course business anyway?
Inkster Valley you're referring to?
Yes, ma'am.
That has had some conversation over the years. I do not believe there are any immediate plans to sell. If there are, they will certainly come to us for discussion on that. I think Andy is here to note your request to discuss that or have some discussion on the feasibility of that. But as of right now, there aren't any discussions to do that.
So to raise discussion on that, if I may, Madam Chair, I'll be a no on 15. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any further discussion? Commissioner Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And since my city did come up, I will say something, and I want to thank Commissioner Marecki for calling me. I do believe the state should get involved in this, but I have talked to Highland Park. There is money owed to Highland Park, but it was under the former governor. And I do remember them trying to get me involved in it early on. And I said, no, you need to help them rebuild our own water department. And, but I am in support of the governor getting involved in this because it is kind of big, but I am told that they owe Highland Park money. So, but you know, whenever there's a small city that don't have a lot, kind of down on their knees, people kind of fight. of them. And so I will continue to work and monitor this because I do think our governor could get involved. But it was the former governor and his staff that made this happen. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I stated in our committee meeting, I fully support this resolution. I don't think it's fair for the 43 communities in Wayne County to pay for a debt that we were not responsible for. The city of Dearborn, my understanding, paid about $3.6 million so far, out of this $52 million debt. I'm glad we're sending this to the state for the governor to get involved. And we need to get to the bottom of this. I don't, people are complaining about water rates anyway, and many of them end up being assessed on the property taxes if they don't pay them.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And, I'd like to note too, and it's not only Wayne County, it's anybody that's hooked up with Great Lakes Water Authority that's paying this all the way up to Flint.
Right.
So Macomb County is kind of following what Wayne County's doing with their cities and townships are starting to put things in escrow. And the Downriver Authority, or the Downriver Group, I believe, has passed a resolution. So this is starting to snowball through different counties and communities because it's not only Wayne County that has been affected by this.
All the way Oakland, like I said, up to Genesee and Macomb County. So, okay, a question, Commissioner Varga.
Thank you. It seems like the smaller cities have suffered the most, Commissioner Martha G. Scott. Melvindale has been, the citizens in Melvindale, as well as the people who run the city, has been complaining for many years. They've had people out from the water system and to no avail. And so I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, going forward is one thing, but it would surely be nice to find out how many people and in what form they have overpaid and relieve some of the burden on the communities and the water bill payers. And so as for my little city of 10,000 people in Melvindale, we are fully supportive of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Kinlock, turn your microphone back on. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. For years, the Detroit Water and Sewage Department has always been a very sore spot, throughout Southeast Michigan, and specifically those communities that receive their water from DWSD. The state, in all of its wisdom under the previous administration, chose to basically create this authority and allowed for it to have the ability to run the water system, even though many residents in the city of Detroit opposed it because the authority could run it better. The authority would be fair and equitable as it relates to how it's charging its customers. But we find ourselves here, and what I'm saying is this is very, very interesting. Even more issues have come to light since this Great Lakes Water Authority has come into existence, not to mention, in which, for the record, I'm a member of the Detroit Board of Water Commissioners. There's a lot, it just continues to evolve as it relates to their interpretation of certain practices and rules and things that were put in place upon them basically taking the system from the citizens of Detroit. So no, communities understand this. The Great Lakes Water Authority has continued to try to define its role in this water system, not to the concern, just to the concerns that you all are raising with the Highland Park issue that the state actually had a big hand in, but also even trying to encroach upon Detroit's current authority within this current structure that the state threw upon all of us. So I just want to say for the record, we may not be largely a part of this issue, but understand this, we have our own issues as relates to them wanting to interpret their role in this water system, with this water system. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Scott?
I'm just reminded of our former mayor. He said, when they take the water, they'll take the lifeblood away from you. That was Coleman A. Young. And this is what they have tried to do. And because my city is a small city, you know, but we weren't always down. We may be down now, but check their finance reports and see if you see where it is in Highland Park. They owe us $1 million now. And there is a lawsuit now that hasn't completed. But I'm not going to let them continue to talk about Highland Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes. Commissioner Colleen.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to echo some of the comments of Commissioner Scott and Commissioner Kinlock. And I do appreciate that the resolution is not like taking a shot at Highland Park. However, the only reason we're talking about rates is because of the issue with Highland Park. I don't know of any other, like they've been unfair in setting their rates in any other place that we need to really go into that and look at it. And of course, we haven't talked about the local markups that go onto these too. I'd like to hear from all the communities represented here, how much the local markups are above and beyond the rates. So I think the reason the resolution is here is because of the Highland Park issue. That is a matter of the state. That was the genesis of this was something that was done in Lansing about 10 years ago. I agree that the governor has to step in and take care of this issue, but I'm not going to be in favor of the resolution today. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Clark Coleman.
No, it's refreshing to sit and hear about the water board and their issues. For years, when the Detroit controlled the water system, there was always complaints about the Detroit water system overcharging. That's no longer the case because we gave it to you. You wanted it, you got it. So it is refreshing to hear, to see that it's not Detroit this time. That's the subject of criticism about water, because now you see what Detroit faced when we ran the system and there was constant complaints about overcharging. So there's a saying about, well, maybe it's not a saying, but sometimes you have to walk in somebody else's shoes to understand what you once had that wasn't so bad after all. That's just my rhetoric for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Very good. I guess on that, we will end this conversation. And after we vote on the items, we'll open up the board for co-sponsors for the resolution. The report has been moved and supported. Please vote.
Motion carries. I have Commissioner Basham as a no on 15, Commissioner Colleen as a no on 16. Maker of the motion on item number 3, Commissioner Knizik. Item number 6, Commissioner Basham. Items 12, 14, and 15, Commissioner Anderson.
Okay, and at this point, I'll open up the board for co-sponsors for item number 16, which is the resolution. Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Open for co-sponsors.
Co-sponsors for the resolution, please vote if you'd like to co-sponsor the resolution.
Co-sponsors duly noted.
Thank you so much. Next item, please, Madam Clerk.
Your report F. Oh, no.
Yes.
Yes, we are on report F, I'm sorry, from the Committee on Audit.
Okay, once again, Commissioner Basham, you're up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is actually required communication from the county's external auditors. That would be Plant Moran. And they're advising that the annual audit will not be issued by March 31st deadline. That's very important. The required communication from the county's external auditors, Plant Moran, is advising that the land bank annual audit will not be issued by the March. And actually, the audit is completed, but cannot be issued until the county's annual audit is issued. There was a delay. We think it's been worked out with the treasurer's office. Folks have come together. We're now working together. I guess better late than never, but this actually could affect our money coming from the state to the county, could affect our bond rating and all sorts of other things. This was a very important issue. And it has been, the parties are working together. Let me put it that way and I'll leave it alone, but thank you.
Thank you. This is receive and file
Or,
two items on the audit report. There's support.
Support.
Okay, and yes, I am glad the parties are working together because it is a very serious issue that we have to make sure that we get our internal audit turned in timely because it does affect a rippling effect of different things that could happen. So thank you, Commissioner, for having a couple of extra meetings to discuss this important issue. Commissioner Colleen?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, at the meeting, there was some discussion as to how quickly this can be done and the report can be issued. I don't know if the Auditor General or administration has an update on how long this is going to take, because we know we're going past a deadline. And as the chair of the committee, Commissioner Basham just said, talking about repercussions about being late. And I don't want to hear any financial repercussions for the county. So is there an update either from the Auditor General or the department about when this is going to get done?
Marcy, I turn over to you.
Marcy Carr, Auditor General, through the chair. We have a status meeting today at 11:30 where we'll get a better idea how closer we are. But I want to say within maybe 2 weeks, hopefully it could be issued. We have a status meeting today. We'll know more information and I can send out an email based on that status information.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion on the report? Hearing none, please vote.
Carries.
Thank you. Next item, please.
We're on report G from the Committee on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security. There are 8 items listed on pages 15 through 17 of the agenda.
Commissioner Clark Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that we receive and file item number 1 and item number 2 through 8. I move approval of.
Support. It's been moved and supported. Any discussion on the public safety report? Commissioner Varga.
Thank you. On item 6, is Wayne the only municipality that we have contract?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Is item 6, is Wayne the only city that we have the intergovernmental agreement with for road patrol?
I know that. Is someone here from the Sheriff's Department?
Good question.
I'm jealous if that's the case.
Good morning, Samaya Harp, Director of Administration at the Sheriff's Office. Through the chair, no, we have quite a few IGAs that allows the MSCU and the secondary roads to patrol and to get part of the revenue sharing from the tickets that they write. If you like, when I get back to the office, I'll send you a list.
That would be great.
Absolutely.
Is this with overtime monies or just the road patrol?
Road patrol, patrolling, and secondary road patrolling. And if they find infractions, they give out.
That's great because we get half the funds for that,
50%.
for those tickets. So that's really great. Thank you.
If you could send that to all commissioners, please.
Yes, I would like to see that
Absolutely.
list also.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
would you like for me
Thank you,
to,
Madam Chair.
do a recap? Small one?
A little bit.
Okay. All right. So item number one, of course, you know, this is a receiving file for the report on the overtime cost. Item number two, there's a contract with Detroit Rescue Missions Ministries for $250,000. And the next, the second, third, fourth, and fifth, these are all basically the same thing. They are contracts with our vendors to provide community-based residential rehab treatment and services for adult offenders in the criminal justice system. Item number two is for the Detroit Rescue Mission for $250,000. Three is with Elmhurst Home Incorporated for $170,000. Number four is for Lake Ridge Village, $170,000. And number five is with Team Wellness for $250,000. Those are all contracts with our vendors. Number six is the approval of a 10-year agreement with the Charter of Wayne for that. And I think that we already discussed what that was about. That was to provide road patrol services. And you're going to provide us, or she's going to provide us with a list of them, because I too did not realize how many cities contract with us for road patrol. Okay, number seven is a sole source for software maintenance agreement with Central Square Technology, and that's for $47,971, and that's for the operation of our One Solution computer-aided dispatch operating system for the Sheriff's Office. Number eight is an approval of the appointment of Amand Rashad Harris of Detroit to serve as a member of the Community Corrections Advisory Board. And it's for a 4-year term. And I welcome Amand Rashad Harris to my Community Corrections Board.
Thank you so much. Any discussion on the public safety report? Commissioner Kinlock.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to be maker of the motion on items number 2, 3, and item number 8.
Okay, duly noted.
Which numbers are those again now?
2, 3, and 8.
Further discussion on the public safety report?
And Madam Chair.
Yes.
I don't know if Mr. Armand Rashad Harris is here. If so, he can just stand up and let us.
Mr. Harris, if you're here, stand. Oh, there you go. Hello. Okay. Welcome to the Community Corrections Board. In about 30 seconds, I'll say welcome again. Okay, as we vote. Okay, any discussion on public safety? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries, and I have Commissioner Kinlock as the maker of the motion on 2, 3, and 8.
All right, now I welcome you, Mr. Harris. Thank you very much for your service.
Would you like to say a couple words? Thank you.
Microphone, please.
Madam Chair, first and foremost, thank you, Ms. Irma Clark. I'm super excited to be in support of the community in this board. Thank you so much to all the chairpersons and the commissioners here. Really excited to be serving the Eastern Market as well as throughout District 2. So thank you so much for this nomination. I appreciate it.
We welcome your service. Thank you so much. Okay, Madam Clerk, next item, please.
We are on report H from the Committee on Government Operations. There are 4 items listed.
Commissioner Dobb.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move items 1 and 2, I'm sorry, items 1 through 3 for receive and file, and item number 4 for approval.
Moved and supported for items 1, 2, 3, and 4 on government operations. Any discussion on these 4 items? Discussion on any of these 4 items?
Like a summary of the items.
Did you, 1, 2, and 3 are just receiving files. If you could summarize 4.
Item number 4 is a 3-year collective bargaining agreement with Askme Council 25, Local 25, Hearing and Vision Technicians Chapter. So these are the technicians that go into the schools and check the hearing and vision for the students. And they will receive pay increases. The CBA covers 16 budgeted positions, 9 of which are currently filled. And that's about it.
So much. Any discussion on the items? Okay, please vote. Okay, thank you. Next item, please.
Here on page 18 of the agenda, upcoming committee meetings.
Hey, please note that the committee of the whole for this week was postponed. It will be next Tuesday, the 19th at 11 a.m. Topics are the Criminal Justice Center, update on ARPA funds. So we shouldn't be too long, but that would be on the 19th at 11 a.m. If there are any changes to any of your meetings, please let the clerk know. Next item.
On new business, there are 3 items listed on pages 18 and 19 of the agenda. Item number 1 is requesting commission approval of modification number 4 to a collective bargaining agreement between the Charter County of Wayne and Askme Council 25, Locals 25, 101, 409, 1659, extending the CBA by 2 years.
Move approval.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there support before we have discussion and have the administration come up? Is there support? Moved and supported. Discussion. If I could have someone from the administration come up. These 3 items did not make the committee. So if you please be prepared to discuss these items, persons from the administration. Okay, go ahead.
Madam Chair, Joe Martinico, Director of Labor Relations. We're pleased to present to the Commission for their approval today a collective bargaining agreement with Askme Non-Supervisory Bargaining Unit. This is the county's largest bargaining unit. There's over 700 employees in this unit. This bargaining agreement contains wage increases for the vast majority of the employees in this unit immediately upon approval, and also provides for wage increases effective October 1 of this year and October 1 of 2023. The agreement running through September 30th of 2024.
Wage increases, do you know what percent they'll be increased by?
Yes, the wage increases in October of 2022 and October of 2023 are across the board wage increases of 2.5% for each employee in the bargaining unit. The immediate wage increases were targeted wage increases that were meant to address market, the county's where we stood in the marketplace. We were having difficulty competing in the marketplace for employees. The purpose of the negotiation was to raise wages so as to make county wages competitive with the marketplace.
And these increases make them competitive, or are we still lagging other counties in the area?
It makes us competitive, which doesn't mean, unfortunately, that we have people breaking down our doors trying to apply, and there's a national labor shortage. We're still having, we're doing a lot of work trying to recruit and attract people as well as retain people. These wage increases also raise the wages of our current staff so that we're trying to stem the outflow of employees away from the county.
Good. Commissioner Kenlock.
Can you tell me how many outstanding contracts or negotiations that are still on the table, or what can we expect as far as any modifications to the whole wage concern, present wage concerns that's spread it countywide? Are there any that's on the table that we can, because we are all getting these emails, phone calls from employees about the wage disparity between Wayne County and other surrounding areas?
Happy to. We have recently negotiated agreements, and this body has approved agreements with a number of our bargaining units. This is the latest of those agreements. For example, we have an agreement with the Government Bar Association representing the attorneys at the prosecutor's office and the corp counsel's office. We reached agreement with nurses represented by the Government Administrators Association. We've reached agreements with the Michigan Building Trades for employees who are in the buildings department and our carpenters, plumbers, and electricians. We are currently in negotiations with the Askme Supervisory Bargaining Unit. And we are going to shortly be entering into negotiations with the GAA General Fund Bargaining Unit and the International Union of Operating Engineers. There are 4 agreements that expire. They're in effect. They expire September 30th of this year, but we are either in negotiations or will, over the next 30 days, be entering into negotiations with all 4 of those units in an effort, as we've done with the Askme non-supervisor, an effort to reach an agreement early that provides wage increases for employees so that we are more competitive in the marketplace.
Thank you. Just one last point, if it would, could you just, if any of those contracts are not negotiated and brought before us and expire at after September 30th, they're on about, can you just give us send us an email with an update on the status of those pending contracts?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Colleen, then Commissioner Baker McCormick, then Commissioner Varga.
Madam Chair, and sometimes I have a hard time hearing you, sir. I know it's a long way to the mic, but just 2 questions. Are there any other provisions of the contract other than wages that are different? And secondly, is this all of the Askme locals?
This is the 4 Askme locals that comprise the non-supervisors bargaining unit. There are 3 other Askme locals that comprise the supervisors bargaining unit, and 1 Askme local that comprises the Sheriff's Department command officers. There is an agreement in place with the Supervisory Command Officer Bargaining Unit. We're in negotiations with the Askme Supervisory Bargaining Unit. This is the largest bargaining unit in the county. It is comprised of over 700 employees.
And my other question was, are there any other provisions in the contract that are different other than wages?
Well, the current contract provides that the contract would expire on September 30th of this year. So obviously there is a change to that.
So you've extended the term.
Right. Other than that, there are no other major changes.
Yeah, and I appreciate these coming, and it is a little frustrating this piecemeal, but I understand the county financial situation. But I'm certainly glad to see some progress here. It's been a long time for a lot of our employees, and very much concerned about the brain drain and the shrinking number of employees that we have in this county, and to provide the services that I think our citizens expect. A little love for our employees has been needed for a long time. They've probably been on 10 years of, well, do more with less. And that wears thin after a little while. So I'm glad to see we're making some progress, and hopeful on all the other negotiations you're in right now. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Madam Chair, with the increase of 2%, right?
2.5%.
2.5%. What's the average pay rate then from?
Pay rates,
once you
this
get
bargaining unit has many, many job classifications within it. It's, I'd have to go back and calculate what the average increase would be for the entire bargaining unit. I can tell you that the anticipated wage cost for the 2022, October 2022 agreement is $1.2 million. And for the October 2023 is $1.25 million. So that's based on the current workforce. If there are additions to the workforce or subtractions to the workforce, obviously those numbers are subject to revision.
I guess the question, or maybe to clarify the question, the average pay rate per person. So if we're looking at least 15, right? And you add on the 2%, how many of those you said 2.5%, how many of those employees approximately would be at $20 versus the $15 mark? I'm just trying to see where the average pay rate is right now.
Be happy to research that and provide that information through the chair if that's permissible.
Thank you.
You're fine, Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Clark, we have a list, so you're right after Commissioner Varga.
Thank you.
Commissioner Varga, then you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Varga?
Thank you. The $15 minimum wage that we instituted last year. So with this pay raise, we no longer have $15 an hour employees. I'm hoping that with the 2.5% increase, that will elevate that, and new hirees would probably come in at that, or?
Correct. With the October 1, 2022, 2.5% increase, those employees who are currently at $15 an hour, they were raised to $15 an hour last October. With this next October, they will be increased above $15 an hour.
That's good news. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me ask you, my mic is.
Just speak close to the mic, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me pull up closer. I do know that a major reason that we are having problems retaining or attracting employees has to do with benefits. And I do know that back when we had to make some painful changes to benefits and wages, the benefits were severely impacted. Have we been able to restore any of those benefits that we took away from the employees back during that bad period of time?
Primary change that was implemented back in 2015 was with regard to retirement, the employees' retirement benefits. And the reason for that was because of the funding status of the retirement plan. The retirement plan was severely underfunded. Although that funding has improved, it is still severely underfunded. The current funding of the retirement plan is about 65% funded, which means that the retirement benefits of our current employees as well as our current retirees are not secure, as secure as they need to be. We need to continue to allow those changes to permit the county to raise the funding status of the retirement plan and increase the security of retirement benefits for our employees and retirees. So the short answer to your question is we're not in a position yet to negotiate improvements to the retirement plan because those improvements would cost money and the plan is already underfunded.
So that handles the retirees. Didn't you impact on health care benefits for active employees also?
Yes, I'm sorry. In the realm of healthcare, we have added a healthcare option for employees. I don't want to get too far into the weeds on this, but prior to this additional option, employees could elect to participate in 3 various high deductible plans. And their benefits really didn't kick in until they met these high deductible thresholds. Recently, we have introduced a 4th non-high deductible plan, which allows employees to enjoy benefits without meeting a high deductible. So there have been some changes. We'll continue to look at the healthcare plans to see if we can do more. But at the current, with this current agreement that we have before you today, there are no further changes to the healthcare plan.
Okay, so Madam, okay, so we do know that one of the major reasons that we keep losing deputies and other hard to recruit classifications is because of the, not necessarily because, well, it is, the salary does impact it, but it's the benefits that prevent us from being able to retain and then recruit additional personnel, especially in our sheriff's department. So is there anything that you are doing that will make us competitive in terms of benefits? Because many people take jobs, especially for benefits.
Yes, we think that the introduction of this non-high deductible healthcare plan option is attractive to new hire employees because it does not require that they meet a deductible before they become eligible for benefits. So we think that's an improvement, but we are always looking to see if there are things we can do to reduce the cost so that we can reduce the cost to employees.
Well, it would just be my desire for you to keep on working on the benefits, because until you get that right, we're going to continue to lose employees. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. You're spot on with that, because benefits is an attractive feature for someone to take a position, even if they may even sacrifice salary a bit if they can have health benefits. That's something that the county always, we were proud that we were able to offer that before we fell on hard economic times. But now that we are bouncing back, I'm hopeful that we would get back to a plan that is that would be benefit to our employees, our current employees, and in attracting new employees. So I will put an amen to that statement, Commissioner Clark-Coleman. Any other comments, Commissioner Killeen?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I thought for a minute I'd do an under member comments, but this is on the agenda today, so I can't. So I just want to make the comment. You're exactly right, Commissioner Clark-Coleman. And this is the first I heard that there's a lower deductible option. And a lot of times, with these insurance companies, they lower the deductible, you're losing something else in there too. So Madam Chair, I would like to see at the appropriate, I don't know if at a committee of the whole, to run through what these 5 options are.
4 options. Mm-hmm.
4, yes.
It's 4?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you added a couple of lower deductible. But anyway, to see what that is so that we all have a better understanding. I mean, are these really good? Or are they just lower deductible? What else is? So I'd just like to see a presentation to the commission somewhere on what all the options are so that we all sit here and understand. And Commissioner Kinlock is exactly right. The phone rings. So let's get a good understanding here at the commission about what all of the healthcare options are currently there. And perhaps at that time, we can also have a discussion about cost. In terms of what other kind of plans might be out there. Because I agree with Commissioner Clark-Coleman, right? There is it was the old formula. You work in the public sector, you take a little bit less in wages, but you get good benefits. Well, that ship sailed 15, 20 years ago. Now they got below market insurance and they got below market wages. And we're asking them to deliver essential services to our citizens. So maybe it is more beneficial to the employees to have a decent health care. And that's maybe even more valuable than a 2% raise or a 2.5 or 3% raise.
Right.
So I would like to see a good thorough presentation to the commission. What are all of these options so we understand? Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion on this item? Okay, thank you. What we'll do is we'll take 1, 2, and 3 together. So item number 2.
Chair,
Yes.
just one quick comment on number 3. I'd forgotten that we were doing all 3 at the same
Can we do
time.
number 2 first?
Pardon me?
Number 2 first, then we can go to number 3. Is that
Oh,
okay?
sure,
Yep, okay,
sure.
let's do number 2, Madam Clerk.
Item number 2 is requesting commission approval of the reappointments of Lynn Carter and Angelo Glenn and the appointment of Eva Garcia as nominated by Detroit Mayor Michael E. Duggan to the Detroit Wayne County Integrated Health Network Board.
Okay, just a refresher, the city and the county must come in agreement with appointments to the mental health board. So these are the city appointments that they've brought to us. We can either vote them up or vote them down, but these are the the names, 2 reappointments and 1 new appointment. I don't know if anyone is here. If you are here, if you could please stand. Lynn Carter, Eva Garza, and then new person is who's the new person? Angelo Glenn, and Eva is the new person. So if any of them are here, please stand. If not, their resumes were included in the packet. And again, the way the code works is the mayor and, well, the city and the county have to agree on the persons that are brought to get by the city, and then we have to agree on it to vote on them. So,
Madam Chair.
yes, Commissioner Baker McCormick.
We will also be entertaining 2 other appointees, the county, right?
Yes.
So
At the
they'll
next-
be coming,
Yes.
soon.
All right. Okay, item number 3.
Item number 3 is requesting commission approval of a 3-year contract with 2 one-year options to renew between the Charter County of Wayne and Carpel Solutions, not to exceed $2,888,600 to provide the prosecutor's office with a cloud-based FBI criminal justice information services certified case management system.
Okay, Tony.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Tony Guerrero, Chief of Legislation, Grants and Community Relations for the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. Excuse me. I anticipate that Commissioner Anderson's going to have a question, but if I may, if you will indulge me, because this is a new item, I think I should just give you a little background.
Please.
For the benefit of all. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office is proposing a contract period of 3 years effective from the date it's approved by resolution of the Wayne County Commission. The term of the contract may be extended by 2 additional 1-year periods, but no change in terms or conditions shall be permitted during an extension unless specifically set forth in the contract. The compensation section includes all remuneration to which the contractor may be entitled. The county will not pay the contractor for overtime, holiday, or other premium charges or any other benefits in addition to those stated in Appendix B of the contract. The maximum compensation for the initial 3-year period is $2,888,600. In the first year, it is $2,037,600. In the subsequent years, second, $425,000, and the third year, $426,000. There was an RFP there were 95 solicitations, 9 actually responded and qualified, and the procurement division recommended that the contract be let to Carpel Solutions Incorporated. The contract provides the county prosecutor's office, finally, we're into the 21st century. It'll provide us with a cloud-based criminal justice information system, certified case management system that will allow the prosecutor's office to seamlessly interface with all 43 of our law enforcement agencies. It will improve our communication with the circuit court and the district courts and provide a better data exchange with the Third Circuit Court and the judicial information systems. Most important to all of us, this will allow the prosecutor's office to operate in a paperless environment. It is extremely important, and this matter is here before you today, because if we don't pass it today, we are already pushed back to September on the start date to go live. If we missed this deadline, we would be pushed back to December, and that would impact us in being able to move into the new building. That's all I have, and I'm happy for any questions.
Thank you so much. We are so happy to have this finally before us. I know the prosecutor has been advocating for a paperless system, advocating for better communications between all of the police departments, the court systems. So I am very happy that this is finally before us. Out of, over 95 direct solicitations, you chose this company, I guess basically because it provided everything that you needed for it to provide to execute this, the programs that she has over there and what she needs. So thank you for that. I heard Commissioner Anderson, then Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Tony, I too, like the chair, am very happy to see us moving in this direction. I think it's long overdue for this county, especially a county of this size, to have this system, a case management system in place. And just a couple of questions. As you indicated, you thought I might have. But one of them is, this is the FBI criminal justice system. It's a system that they have recommended or they have approved.
System has been, pardon me, Commissioner. The system's been approved by the FBI. It is what we call CJIS compliant. It is Criminal Justice Intelligence System compliant. This one is very important to us. And if you looked in your packet, which was quite extensive, and I have to give the commission counsel and commission staff kudos, they gave you the list, and the list of all the requirements is about 2 miles long. But yes, it is important. This particular system keeps us CJIS compliant and allows us to be compliant for our LEAN access, Law Enforcement Intelligence Network, for driver's records, for criminal histories, et cetera.
And what happens at the end of this contract? Should we decide, or whoever is here in the prosecutor's office decides they want to go a different direction? What happens with the access to that data?
I would say to you that I was fortunate to be involved. We negotiated the 2 extensions at the same price. No extension, no increase in pricing whatsoever. However, as we approach that 5-year period, if I was to make the decision, I would then send out a new RFP to find out exactly where the pricing would lay at that particular time. And of course, would have to be compliant with the system. This case management system is primarily software. So to answer your question, at the end of that 5 years, if I'm still around, I would say, let's go out for an RFP at the end of year 4, just to test the market and see where we are.
If it's a software-based system, which I understand, of course, and being cloud-based, do we lose access to the cloud for that information? Or
The system would continue to operate. We wouldn't have the benefit at that point of free maintenance and support services. We'd have to contract for those. But I don't think it's a bad thing to be looking out with another RFP to see just what's out there. This RFP was sent out nationally. So it came back that this particular company, Carpel Solutions, was the most compliant and the most responsible.
I agree that it's wise to look at what's out there because technology changing. And I know even being a cloud-based, there are some benefits probably to that we will see in advancements in 4 years. But I know too many times I think different levels of government get tied into long contracts or even short-term contracts that they have no option basically because it's the only company that provides a service if you sign up with them to begin with. And so I think that was a concern to me.
Commissioner, I have to compliment my boss because she sent me to procurement training just for these types of issues.
Thank you. Thanks for the answers. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Chair. And this is really good news. My question though is, are the 43 communities all set up to interact with us on this paperless?
When it's set up, it will be.
It will be?
Yes, that's the goal. For 1 second here, let me just say, the most important thing about this system is we want to be able to have all of your community's detectives send everything to us through the secure cloud and not have to spend a half a day down in Frank Murphy Hall of Justice. They need to be taking care of law enforcement in their communities, in your communities.
I know they've been asking for this for years, just like Kim
A year
has.
that I've been involved.
Thank
But
you.
I hope that answers questions. If there are any others, please.
Commissioner Knizik?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, excuse me, Tony, thank you for everything and the great representation that you provide to Prosecutor Worthy. It's always great to see you and hear from you. And as you know, because I'm complimenting you, I'm getting ready to ask you a tough question. It always frustrates me when we have these reports, these presentations, and I see us sending the tax dollars of Wayne County out of state. But I also recognize that when we're talking about programs like this that are highly sensitive and require certain specifications and modifications and support, that sometimes it just is what it is. And so I was wondering if maybe you could talk a little bit about that procurement process, how the selection took place, and why we have to go with a company out of St. Louis in order to meet this need.
Essentially, we didn't have a company that responded that was in Wayne County or even within the state of Michigan that would have met all the criteria. And that's the problem. That's the reason we had to go to a company in St. Louis. Obviously, our preference, if there was a company here in Wayne County, I would be the first one advocating for it. But that's the frustration. This is such a specialized area. This particular system was designed by prosecutors for prosecutors. And as I say, if you look at the package that shows all the requirements for this, it was unbelievable. I was fortunate enough to be allowed to be involved in the process of putting the RFP together. And I do have to say one other thing, Commissioner. Don't give me credit. We have to give credit to Corporation Counsel, Commission staff, Commission Counsel and her staff. Believe me, this contract was vetted by 6 different attorneys, and then you add me and made it 7. So I feel very comfortable coming forward.
Any other discussion on this item? All right, thank you, Tony.
Thank you very much.
Okay, can I have a motion for items 1, 2, and 3? Moved and supported for items 1, 2, and 3. One final ask of discussion. Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Next item, please.
Here are testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation. There are 5 items listed.
Okay, is there a motion? Moved and supported to approve the testimony resolutions and certificates of appreciation. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote. We're going fast now, guys. All right, thank you so much. Next item, Madam Clerk. Oh, Commissioner Kenlock?
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item.
Here on page 20 of the agenda, memoriams, there are 7 names listed.
Okay, for item number 6, the memoriam for Adam Shakur was, all commissioners were on that memoriam for the Honorable Adam Shakur. Commissioner Kenlock?
Madam Chair, I would like to add the name of retired Circuit Court Judge, Judge Prentice Edward Sr. I have request staff to draft the resolution in memoriam from all commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Clark Coleman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So my community has another big loss. We just did a memorial to Maggie Lee Hinton, who in the Fitzgerald community was an icon. So her funeral will take place on Thursday. I was just notified that the president of the Fitzgerald Community Council, Lola Holton, has just made her transition.
Oh.
So that's two huge losses in the Fitzgerald Community Association. So I'm asking that you keep the family of Lola Holton, Maggie Hinton, and the Fitzgerald Community Association in your prayers.
All right, thank you so much. We will certainly do that. That is a big loss for that community, absolutely. And to have so close together, that is absolutely devastating for the area. So of course, our condolences are with all the members of the Fitzgerald community. Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydoun, that's a mouthful.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to extend my sincerest condolences to our colleague, Commissioner El Haydous, and to the entire Haydous family on the passing of his sister-in-law, Dalal Haydous Hawi. Our prayers go out to her son, Adil Hawi, and the many family members she leaves behind. She was a great woman who cared deeply about her community and all those around her. She will truly be missed again. We extend our condolences to our dear friend, Commissioner El Haydous.
Thank you, Commissioner. Absolutely. That was a sudden loss, and that's why Commissioner Haydous is not here today, because it was very sudden. Okay, if we could all stand, please, for a moment of silence. Everyone in the chambers, please. Stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. Sending our sincerest condolences to all that has transitioned since our last meeting. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Public comments.
Okay, public comments, we have 2 minutes. Five emails. Okay, go ahead, you can read them, 90 seconds. Before you do that, let's see if there's one on Zoom or on the telephone. Okay, go ahead, Bobby Johnson. They're on mute. Can you unmute everybody off of Zoom, please? There you go. Bobby Johnson.
Yes,
2 minutes.
greetings, commissioners, and good afternoon. One thing I would like to say, and when we're looking at a budget or we're looking for funding over in our area, the Commissioner Bell, we have no recreation centers. We're one of the biggest areas with one of the most areas with seniors and single family and children, and there's no recreation center over here. Our children have nothing. Our seniors have nothing. There's no community centers, and the community centers that we do have, they cost. And with women having 6 or more children, it's hard to put all those children or to pick what child that you want to put in the center or what child that you want to play sports. With us being Wayne County residents, for our quality of life, there are certain things our tax dollars should bring, and that is recreation, grocery stores, and a clean city. When you look at our overpasses going from Southfield Freeway, Joy Road, all the overpasses are dirty. There's no trash pickup. When you look for us, our children walking down the streets, there's no recreation center. When you're looking for us to go to grocery stores, we have to go to grocery stores that are overpriced. The meat is re-dipped. We're finding outdated foods that are here, and people are steady preying on the poor inside of our city and inside of Wayne County. We need some relief over here, and we need something to happen with the quality of life for our citizens over here. So in this budget, and when you guys are thinking about spending money, think about over here and our children and a recreation center. Thank you, and you guys have a good evening. Well, afternoon.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson, for your comments. Thank you so much. There's someone that just has a phone number ending in 0120.
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead.
I urge this honorable body to draft a resolution to support the right of citizens to have control when it comes to our bodies, that health decisions be our choice. Black citizens are statistically the least likely to be vaccinated with the COVID-19 vaccines. At this point, it's not due to a lack of education or access, but instead their choice over medical decisions. I personally have several Black friends and others that have been threatened to be fired or have lost a job because they refuse to get the vaccination for religious, medical, or philosophical reasons. Any policy that overwhelmingly is negatively impacting one segment of law-abiding citizens can probably be viewed as a discriminatory policy. Talk of vaccine passports and other similar policies as implemented in New York create a type of new segregation which will impact those least likely to be immunized. In New York, BLM, for instance, protested a restaurant in Manhattan because Black patrons were not allowed to enter due to their vax status, while whites sat in the restaurant and ate. Will these type of policies help or hurt our current labor shortages that the county is experiencing right now? Hundreds of thousands of people were forced to leave their jobs across the nation due to these policies. I'm not anti-vaccine, I'm anti-mandate. Many mandates have coincidentally been dropped across the nation as elections are coming up and polling shows that they are wildly opposed. Protests were starting to erupt. These mandates are extremely divisive and undemocratic and are unlike past vaccine requirements that created easy pathways to a waiver. So I urge this honorable commission to do the right thing and use your power to speak as a body to pass a resolution to support people's rights to decisions in their own health care and against such mandates being implemented by this county. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else on Zoom? I don't see any other hands. Oh, President Buffington.
Yes.
Go. Someone just muted her. Could you unmute President Buffington, please?
Yes, I'm sorry, I lost the connection. I just wanted to answer one of the commissioner's questions in regards to the monetary amounts that were paid out in the contract ratio. There will never be an even amount because the other locals make a nominal more, a lot more than local 1659. We're clerical services. We are deemed the least important service of Wayne County, even though you have courtrooms that are empty, even though you have employees that do the payroll for thousands of employees, as well as yourself and other elected officials. But no, the pay grade will never be at a $20 amount for local 1659. That's just to answer that question. Thank you.
Thank you, President Buffington. Any additional public comments on Zoom or on the telephone?
Excuse me. I did try to raise my hand. I think I have some issues with my computer.
Go ahead. Name for the record, please.
Yes, this is Jamal Muhammad. I'm in District 6 Commission under Ms. McCormick Baker. One comment that I wanted to make was earlier when y'all was, kind of introducing, the youth council, they were kind of talking about the different gun safety and laws and different things that they wanted to enact within the schools. And I also work inside the school district, and I'm very advocate in the community. And one of the things that I noticed is that we put a lot of different, laws and different things in place, but we're not actually out there, in the community, doing events and doing different things with, police presence or security, or actually being in the communities and the neighborhoods and actually doing things. So like, for example, when y'all was talking about the shortages of, police, or shortages of city officials that have employees that's missing, but we have a lot of, Black owned businesses that have security businesses, that have a lot of businesses to where we can pull on these businesses that have security businesses to help them to start producing and patrolling in the community. Then you have like a lot of nonprofit organizations that do a lot of different things in the community that also can be able to help to assist with that process. So I just wanted to add that to it.
Thank you so much. Are there any other comments on the line or on Zoom? Matthew?
Hi, yeah. I wanted to ask, I know you guys don't ask questions, this is not a Q&A, but I also just wanted to know, like, what is being done currently by the commission to cut down on discrimination against those who have chosen to not become vaccinated against COVID? Like, what is going on? What are you guys doing to make sure that that doesn't happen? Are you guys putting safeguards, like allowing more waivers to be put out? Like, what's being done by the county so that doesn't happen? Because it just seems like there's so many people out there that are getting their jobs taken away. They're getting doxxed because they're not getting this vaccination. And frankly, like, I want to know what the county's doing about it, because I don't know, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot happening. Instead, there is a campaign being done by the county to tell people to get vaccinated but also not because of like scientific sourcing, but just by like sort of propagandistic billboards and ads and things like that have quotes on them, but they don't have source material. They have pictures of actors and doctors' clothing, but like they're not actual doctors. And I just want to, I've seen this. I know there's some of it's federal, not all of it's, some of it's state, not all of it's Wayne County, but like what's being done to help the people be free to choose rather than like just coercing them into, or at least providing this overwhelming message that is, you need to get vaccinated in order, for everything to be good. Like, I don't believe that's the case. So what's being done by the county is my question to safeguard citizens from negative repercussions for their choice to not get vaccinated.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And of course, everyone can call their particular commissioner for further dialogue on any issue that you may have. I don't see any other hands. Pam, if you can read what you have.
This is from Matthew Plessia. Dear Commissioners, protecting the electrical grid is the utmost importance to the state's security and health. It is fragile, antiquated, and yet easy to take down. A resolution requiring the hardening of the most critical components of the grid within the county is urgently needed. The most critical components of the grid include EHV transformers, supervisory control, and data acquisition systems and generators. And they need to be hardened to withstand a nuclear electromagnetic pulse attack. Water and communication infrastructures also need to be hardened. A study was done from Rock Hill, South Carolina, with respect to the cost of hardening these infrastructures and found that it would only cost less than $100 per citizen. Is there not a way to spend $1.8 million to protect our most critical infrastructures from an electromagnetic attack? Next one is from Shirley Martin. Dear Commissioners, I am calling on you to pass a resolution to ban vaccine passports in Wayne County. You say you do not have the power to ban passports, but you do have the power to support the ban. In the past 10 months, you have passed resolutions calling on federal, state, and local governments to 1, take greater action to support victims of sexual assault, 2, draft new legislation 4, new gun restrictions involving minors in schools. 3, adopt laws and policies to increase African-American home ownership. 4, end the unfair state sales tax on tampons and sanitary napkins to help women of limited means. This is a broad spectrum of important issues, and you passed these resolutions to show your support. The issue of banning vaccine passports is just as important. It protects against discrimination of the unvaxxed and maintains the right to medical choice. Support your constituents with a resolution calling for a ban on vaccine passports. You have the power. The next is from Cindy Simowitz. Good morning, commissioners. This morning, I would like to acknowledge our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America. The next is from Michelle Reese. During the past year, we've experienced the personal violation of mandates based on the mantra, follow the science. We are now witnessing the ineffectiveness of the science as many masked and vaccinated people are falling sick to COVID. Let's learn from this failure. As the commission has demonstrated, it can easily pass resolutions for other personal issues, such as removing taxation on personal hygiene products. Please pass one quickly to stop all future medical and masking mandates. This should never happen again in Wayne County. The next is from Dr. Leah Riley. Hello, commissioners. My name is Dr. Leah Riley. There is a huge lack of transparency related to COVID-19 jab advertising all over our county. These advertisements are extremely unethical in that they do not provide any information regarding negative health outcomes associated with the COVID-19 injection. That is a massive disservice to our community. Even TV commercials have to include the potential negative side effects of the medications they advertise. Why isn't this happening with these advertisements? Why have they not included essential information like the alarming rate of heart inflammation that has been found to occur in our younger adolescent population in response to the injection? As of April 1st, the CDC's vaccine adverse events report system has records of over 26,000 deaths related to the COVID-19 injections. Historically, vaccines have been pulled from the market for under 100 reported deaths. Why does this commission continue to approve funding for this advertising without taking to account the community members who are supposed to represent that have been negatively impacted by this medication? That was the last one.
All right, thank you so much. Next item, please.
Next item is reconsiderations.
No reconsiderations. Next item.
Remarks by members.
All right, any remarks? Oh, lots of remarks. Knizik and then Varga.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First things first, since we're not responding to anybody, the irony is not lost on me of people complaining about people presenting as doctors in our media campaigns, and then we have to listen to people who write to us presenting as medical doctors when they're PhDs or chiropractors, but pretend to be virologists. So I really appreciate that. And I also appreciate how the messaging has shifted recently to now talk about the tampon tax repeal. When I was in my 20s and in the Michigan Senate, I loved writing that bill because it called attention to such a great issue that now Governor Whitmer has signed into law. So I appreciate that their messaging has shifted to focus on the repeal of the tampon tax. The real thing that I wanted to say today, though, because we didn't have a chance to talk to our great members of the commission this morning. First, thank you to Commissioner Monique Baker McCormick and her staff for the great work that they do with our youth commission. Second, and we can talk about this offline, we hear a lot about mental health when we're talking about these issues. We rarely hear about behavioral health, so I'd love to talk with you guys about that at some point. And then secondly, and you may have considered this already and just thought it wasn't the right way to go, the OK to Say program that's done through the Attorney General's office. I see a lot of head nods, so we can talk offline about that too. So I'm gonna say this. At the end of the day, I really appreciate all the work that you guys are doing. And for me, it really resonates because I got my start within the system when I was in high school. And as the youngest member of the commission, there's 5 decades between me and the oldest member of the commission. I won't say who it is. But my commission mothers here are really great, I think, at helping me and setting me up for success and making sure that I'm able to learn and grow along the way. And I think that's appropriate. Like I'm in my 30s now, and that's what, a 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old person should be doing. I think that's great. So I want to thank you all for getting active and getting engaged at such a young age. I fully anticipate that you'll be sitting here at some point, that you'll be sitting in the legislature at some point, or, wherever else in between. And I think that all of us stand prepared to assist you in that as well. And in that same breath, as much as I want to say thank you for the hard work that you're doing, I want to apologize to you all as well. At the end of the day, and I think sometimes we forget this, you're so well dressed. You come up here and you're talking so incredibly well. We forget that at the end of the day, with all due respect, you're high school students. And because of the failures of adults, because adults have failed to take action, because adults have refused to follow through on their obligation to your health and your safety and your security, you as high school students are being asked to step up to the plate. That is so disgusting to me. That is so unacceptable to me. And so I want to apologize to all of you for the failure of the adults, not in this room, with all due respect to my colleagues, but the failure of the adults within our political system who have refused to stand up and take action on a very common sense issue. And to, again, praise you and thank you for your great work. My hat's off to you all. God bless you and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you so much. Commissioner Basham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I'd like to thank the Downriver Community Conference, the Conference of Western Wayne, and this body as well. The Wayne County Commission passed a resolution encouraging the state legislature to pass a no holding a phone and texting while driving. Just to add to that, we've been working on this for quite some time. I want to thank also the Wayne County Sheriff and the Wayne County Sheriff himself and his employees. Also the media, because in the state police, because Thursday we're going to roll it out. We're going to have a press conference and we're telling you it's coming like this. If you hold your phone and text and drive, if you're on a freeway, the state police is going to write you a ticket. And then downriver, we're rolling it out downriver too. So be careful if you're driving. If you don't want a $100 ticket first offense, put it down. The phone says it has under settings, the phone can actually answer you itself and say, I can't talk right now, I'm driving. You need to put that in there and do not, because I ride a motorcycle and do not enjoy it when cars are going over the white line back and forth and you pull up beside them, you see they're texting and driving. So for those young students, I'm not talking about just you, but it has no age limit on texting and driving. Now it's just not young folks, it's old folks, and it's all sorts of folks. So please put your phone down. We will be enforcing it like we did with seat belts, like we did with baby seats, booster seats, and then move over for emergency vehicles. Now we're going after folks that can't put their phone down just long enough to drive from point A to point B. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Other remarks by members? Commissioner Martha G. Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I did say to a couple of the young people this morning about a bill that I had while I was in the legislature, and it was about locking up them guns, get some lock boxes. But too many of my male colleagues up there said you weren't going to tell them what to do with their guns. So I thank you for bringing up these bills, continue on, make calls to the legislature, all of them, and see if you can get those bills passed. So I thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes. Commissioner Monique Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to see if any of them had any of the youth council members or the parents had any comments that because we didn't open it up to.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
We didn't open it
I
to the
didn't know
public.
if they, yeah.
If any youth council members or parents or anyone in the chambers, I apologize, did not open it up for public comments in the chambers. Please, to the microphone.
I just want to say thank you, again for the opportunity. It was very good. But I think what, I'm sorry, I don't know how to, Nezek? Just David, I see it. I think Commissioner David, a lot of you guys have that kind of connotation where, it shouldn't be happening. But no matter what, generations as they go, there's gonna be problems. My kids are gonna have problems, their kids are gonna have problems. But I think that with people like you guys who are setting that role model, who are giving us that example of making those changes, because when you guys, even now, when you guys are making these changes, you are trailblazing that path. And thankfully, you get us to a point to where we're further down the line, and maybe we can get people further down the line. And that's just the way it works. And hopefully at some point, the things we're gonna be fighting is whether or not it's gonna be ketchup or mustard in lunch. So we just really appreciate the opportunity. I know a lot of times people don't like to listen to young people, but when you guys do, it's very refreshing and just overwhelming. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Francis. Someone get to, hold on, hit a little button down at the bottom. Francesca, I don't think Francisco know how to do it. Turn that on, yep, thank you. Oh, Lord, okay, thank you.
Sorry about that. Gave me a minute to get the nerves out. So Commissioner McCormick and your assistant Nairobi, thank you so much as a parent for investing in our youth. This is our future. It's not even my generation that's the future really right now. It's really them. So as a parent, we can only do so much. And it's who we put our children around and in front of to influence them that's going to get us where we need to be in this world and society. So I thank you. I'm not a public speaker, so my apologies. I'm super nervous, but good job to everybody. All the students, I know they've worked extremely hard. I know you've taken a ton of time out with them. And I really, really do appreciate it. I think on behalf of all of our parents, I speak for them. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and speaking and allowing your child to participate. Thank you.
Hello. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that took time out of their days and after hours to help us and give us the chance to let our voices be heard, because not only as, like Francisco said, not many people want to listen to youth, but the fact that you guys let our voices be heard and acknowledged and our issues, it really means a lot to us. And the fact that we can put this in motion, it really does mean a lot. So thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your participation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Come on over.
I'm Madison McDonnell, as introduced earlier. I just wanted to say thank you so much. This board has helped me realize that I wanted to be in politics. So it means so much to have you guys out here supporting our board, making sure we get elected into our seats as members. So I just want to say thank you so much. I look forward to maybe working with you guys in the future. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
I'm a parent of one of the kids or students, I should say, on the county commission. I wanted to echo what you said, because I said the same thing to Commissioner Baker, saying, I feel like it's our generation who's given them all this, given them the guns, given them the social media, given them intolerance, told them that you have to be right or left, and we don't moderate, we don't compromise, we don't. So for me, watching this, and I've been watching them work on this for the last few months and watching it evolve, I've just been sitting in the back and said, really, that's my kid doing that? And other than all the thank yous all the parents have said, I've also want to hope that this goes further. I was looking at your list of how it's going to go to the legislature, go to the superintendents, go to the boards. And I'm really, really hoping after the lockdowns we had in our schools where the kid calls and says, my teacher's standing at the door with a baseball bat and we're hiding under our desk for 5 hours. I don't want to ever have that happen again. I can't even think of those who lost parents. I mean, that's beyond me. But just hope that this goes somewhere and we keep working on it rather than, we get it out here, we get it in the press and everyone forgets about it. So my only plea is we'll push it. And if you need us as your citizens to push it, we're all here too. So thank you.
Thank you, Mom.
Hi there. Once again, excuse me, I lost my voice. My name is McKenna Taranjo. I wanted to not only thank Commissioner Baker McCormick and Nairobi, but Commissioner Alicia Bell. You have just instilled so much knowledge and also inspiration in me. And I could not thank you enough for that. Genuinely, truly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, young people. Thank you. We have.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cynthia Brown. I'm the mother of Shakari Fleming Brown. I just wanted to say, I didn't want to take up too much time. I just want to say thank you again, Commissioner McCormick. We live in your district, and I truly appreciate you picking my daughter for this program. She was very excited because we got in at the last minute. She literally turned it in at the last minute. So thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you to all the commissioners today for listening to the youth. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you. One more.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Zion McCann. I just want to thank Commissioner McCormick, Commissioner Knizik, and just everybody on the board. This opportunity has been opportunity. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
But yeah, it has broadened my horizons to politics. Like, it just made me more interested. Both of my parents have worked in Wayne County for as long as I can remember. So I've always been like hearing them in meetings and hearing them talking to people on the phone, but I was never really interested until I got into this program. So thank you for opening that door for me. Yeah.
Thank you.
To everybody on the board, it was a pleasure to meet you guys. You guys are amazing human beings. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ebony, you forgot to tell them who your mom was and dad.
We'll talk about it afterwards. Very good. No, but that's, again, thank you so much. Again, this is an awesome group of young people. Thank the parents for allowing them to participate. I think this has been an extraordinary year for the Youth Council, and it's just our second year. So that means we have bigger and better things as the years progress. Please let the students at your respective schools know what a wonderful opportunity this is so that they can get engaged as we continue to go further. And again, thank the leadership of Monique Baker McCormick for really getting this over the finish line and getting this established. Let's give her a round of applause for getting this done. So thankful, and we look forward to many great things from this dynamic group of young people. One more commissioner, I think Commissioner Baydoun.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, I would like to thank my colleague, Commissioner Baker McCormick, for exhibiting such an outstanding leadership in establishing the Youth Council. I want to thank the parents. Thank you for encouraging your children to be engaged. You deserve a lot of credit for doing this. And thank you to the Young Council. Thank you for championing the cause of ending gun violence. This is long overdue. Change is coming, and change is coming because of you, because of your efforts, your activism. And I have to agree, I have a 17-year-old daughter. You know, when this shooting happened in the high school, that was every parent's nightmare. And, you know, to my colleague, Commissioner Knizik, yes, the system has failed you. And hopefully right now they will be looking at us and maybe change is coming because of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Varga.
Thank you. To the first mom, I'm not a great public speaker either. I'm a public servant, so it's just fine. I would like to let my Ways and Means Committee members know that April 19th, next Tuesday, is going to be our meeting at 10 o'clock. And I would like to wish Commissioner Irma Clark Coleman a very happy birthday. And I think I'll be following you 2 days later.
You stole my thunder, Commissioner Varga. April 14th is Commissioner Clark Coleman's birthday, and then Commissioner Varga is gracious enough to have a meeting on her birthday, which is going to be April 19th. So happy birthday to our April birthday ladies. Are there any other remarks by members? If not, let me just say one thing. And it was made a mention during our public comments by Ms. Johnson. Each and every commissioner in here, except me, has a recreation center in your city or in your district. I had one in my district. It was torn down. It was O'Shea. So as we look at our ARPA dollars, as we look at our budget, as we look at fairness, I hope that we would consider helping Detroit build a recreation center in my district. I am one of the largest residential only districts in the city. And for those children and those families to not have a recreational center to participate in, for the young people, for the seniors, it is just a travesty. So I agree with Ms. Johnson that spoke earlier. Whatever efforts that we can do as a Wayne County Commission, because I understand that we're in districts, but if we look at the totality that we're serving people, and again, each and every commissioner has a recreation center but me. I would hope that you would help me work with the city of Detroit to build this for our children and for our families and for our seniors. It's very important, as we've seen, that people are healthy and people get healthy when they can go to a place and recreate. So as we move forward, I will be coming to you, asking you to support these efforts, because it is something that I think is just a matter of fairness that all residents throughout the 15 districts in Wayne County have a place for children and families. And on that note,
Wait.
Yep, whoop. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to say that I support you 100%. Because that's my former district.
It absolutely is.
And it is a travesty if you don't have a recreational center in your district. So you can count on me. I will be there for you.
Thank you for that public support, Commissioner. I appreciate that.
Move adjournment.
Okay, now don't get shy when we ask for a budget adjustment. And Commissioner Mark Scott.
To speak again. Now that you mentioned the MAPRA dollars, maybe my colleagues can also include in their resolution that we use those opera dollars to help me rebuild my water department again.
Oh, all right. There we go. Khalil, are you listening?
Thank you.
Khalil was here. He snuck on that. I think that's Drew. Is that Drew under that mask? And I can't see under the mask. That's not Drew. Okay. Well, thank you all. I mean, it's some very important decisions are going to have to be made as we do expense those ARPA dollars. But if you recall, we did have a portion for recreation. So I'll be looking to see what we can do for that parity in District 7 for a recreation center. Now, as we stated at the beginning of the meeting, we are not adjourning. We are recessing until our next meeting to get our equalization report. So I'll entertain a motion to recess. All right. Thank you. We are recessing until April 21st. Thank you all so much.